President Biden in Poland today, ground zero for the humanitarian crisis spilling over from Ukraine. The president visiting with U.S. troops who are bolstering defenses in NATO-allied territory, telling them they're defending freedom.
What you're engaged in is much more than just whether or not you can alleviate the pain and suffering of the people of Ukraine. We're in a new phase.
Also meeting with Poland's president and with aid workers supporting the more than 2 million Ukrainians seeking safety in Poland. President Biden promising more help and doubling down on his accusations against Russian President Vladimir Putin.
A man who, I quite frankly, think is a war criminal.
The U.S. compiling evidence of Russian attacks on civilians, including this theater turned shelter in Mariupol, where Ukraine now says roughly 300 people were killed. President Biden set to deliver a major address tomorrow on the state of the war. And while expressing disappointment he can't safely travel into Ukraine, he will meet with refugees in Poland to hear their stories firsthand, like this mother who fled to save her young son.
He asked me, Mom, will I see my birthday in August or no? Will I be alive? And I didn't know what to say to him.
The president has promised to let 100,000 Ukrainian refugees into the U.S. and pledged an additional $1 billion in humanitarian aid. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And while he was still in Belgium for that emergency NATO summit this morning, President Biden announced the EU and the U.S. are negotiating a deal to send more American oil to Europe to try and reduce reliance on Russian oil. Oil profits are currently fueling the Russian economy.